believe we've been asked to continue items number 8 and 4. Those will be continued. And I'm taking
2 and 3 will be called special.
8
Yeah,
and
4.
4.
I guess maybe next week.
Continued. 5, 6, and 7.
What?
Will be on consent. Five, 6, and 7 will be consent.
Councilman, for item 6, it should be noted that that property is in CD1, not CD10.
Okay. Okay. We'll move that item with that agenda. So that leaves us with what items?
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3.
Actually, the person on number 3 withdrew their card and just left.
Okay, so we'll add number 3 to consent.
So you'll adopt that motion.
We'll adopt that motion. That leaves us what items?
1 and 2.
1 and 2, okay.
And would you like to consider 1?
Yes.
1, Councilman, is a communication for the mayor. It's relative to the appointment of Ms. Candy Lewis to the Harbor Area Planning Commission. And Ms. Lewis is a resident of Council District 15.
Is the mayor's office here? Okay. Is the applicant, is the nominee here? Okay, you want to come up to this, to the... Well, welcome, and if you could just state for the record your name and your interest in serving on this commission, please. I don't know if you're on. Is she on?
LAPD will take care of that. There we go.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Candy Lewis, and I live in the Harbor area in Council District 15. And I am very interested in being in the Harbor Area Planning Commission.
Can you give a little bit about what you do? And
I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. Currently, I'm the executive director of the Positive Results Corporation. It is a nonprofit. We work with children, and we teach leadership, life skills, and I'm a certified teen dating violence prevention and awareness instructor, as well as a certified conflict resolution instructor. I also have a for-profit. It's called Business Solution Consulting Service, and I work with corporate America, teaching them customer service excellence. And I'm the youth representative for the Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council.
okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your service. Mr. LeGrand?
Hello, Mike LeGrand, Director of Planning. We're very happy to have you volunteer your time to be on the Harbor APC. Working with Councilman Hahn, we found that APC to be very engaged in the issues of San Pedro and the greater region down there, and we're excited to have you on board and look forward to a long relationship with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I think someone will be in touch with you to advise you about when we will have this in full council. So,
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next item?
Yes, Count.
I think I might have filed my card for number 2 instead of number 1. Apologize for that. Really quickly as well, Frank Hong with Councilwoman Huang's office. I just want to mention that the Councilwoman strongly supports the appointment of Ms. Candy Lewis as a member of the Harbor Area Planning Commission. Unfortunately, with the recent vacancies on the commission, this has a silver lining in the sense that we are thrilled to have Ms. Lewis be a new commissioner. She has a strong community background as well as a business background, which will be very helpful in the cases that will come before the commission. So once again, we strongly recommend her appointment or support her appointment for the Harbor Area Planning Commission. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next item?
So you're approving item 1, Councilman.
Yes.
And then item 2, it's a motion Garcetti Reyes Gregorian. It's directing the planning department and the city attorney to prepare a charter amendment for the 2/11 March ballot to require all of the city's community plans to be updated every 10 years.
Okay, who's here to present on this item?
Michael Grant, the planning staff. I'll also have Ken Bernstein here to speak a little bit about it. We're really excited to see the discussion of urban planning and planning for our communities elevated in something as prestigious as a charter amendment. We look forward to working with the council on trying to come up with a way to engage the citizens of Los Angeles and helping planning to shape the future of the city as we look forward through our community plan update program. We do have a few concerns in terms of making sure that this mandate in terms of updating 10 years is looked at very carefully, but also funded. It's very important that if we raise expectations to the level of something as aggressive as updating all 35 community plans every 10 years, that the council is prepared to fund the environmental work as well as the transportation modeling that comes along with this. As you know, the department's mostly based off fee-supported activities and very little general fund dollars come to the department. So we find this to be an exciting time to elevate this discussion, but definitely have some concerns that we want to make sure that the council's aware of that we'll discuss with you as we go through the process. Mr. Bernstein?
Good afternoon. Ken Bernstein with the Citywide Planning Division of the Department. As Mr. LeGrand indicated, the Department is supportive of the intent of the proposed charter amendment and believes it will assist in creating a robust and up-to-date community plan program and long-range planning program for the city. We will be, as this moves through the process, and this will be going to Rules Committee as well, we will be sharing in writing some of the specific concerns in crafting this language. We will be working with the city attorney to craft the charter amendment language. Just very briefly, one of the issues is that currently 31 of the 35 plans, actually by next spring when this is on the ballot, 31 of the 35 community plans will have been, in fact, at least 10 years old. And so we will need to look at language that deals with the phasing, initial phasing of this requirement, so that on the date of approval, if the amendment is approved, there is some opportunity to bring these plans up to date and then get on that 10-year schedule that the charter amendment envisions. And as Mr. LeGrand says, there are also concerns about the fiscal impacts that need to accompany this with a long-range funding program for the community plans as well as the general plan elements, and also to ensure that if this language is enshrined in the charter, which goes in fact beyond requirements of state law, that we are not creating additional legal obligations or potential legal jeopardy for the city. So we will be working with the city attorney on those issues.
How much does it cost to do these plans?
Well, the cost varies. The new community plan program in recent years, which has included a more significant restudy, transportation improvements and mitigations, implementing ordinances, have been in the range of between $1.5 million and $2 million or so per plan. So looking at 35 community plans, that is a significant financial obligation. It may be that some of our plans, where in those few areas of the city experiencing less change, may be able to have a less significant overhaul as part of their update. But we will be certainly looking at presenting a financial plan for the council to consider.
So, and how many do you plan to do per year?
How many?
How many plans can you do per year?
It depends how the initial phasing is written into the charter amendment. Again, 31 of the 35 would be out of compliance immediately. So if there is 10 years to catch up on that, that's certainly different than if there's a smaller number of years. In recent years, the department has had a community plan program with anywhere from, I believe, 6 to 8 or so plans at various stages moving through the process.
Councilman, if I may, one thing that we're currently working on is actually implementing a lot of the plans we started. We took on a very aggressive plan. We had some difficulties with securing the funding for those plan updates due to the city's budget constraints, as well as the ERIP program and furloughs. So right now we're looking at completing the plans we currently have underway. For the future planning initiatives we're taking on, we're looking at the areas that have the most potential for growth, where we see development pressures conflicting with our existing zoning regulations and neighborhood protections that need to get put in place, but also opportunities that follow the mayor's 3010 plan and Measure R, and making sure that areas like downtown Union Station, where we have high-speed rail, we have new transit lines coming in, the regional connector coming in, that we actually plan for those areas, and those are more at a critical path for us, and rather than just the age of the plans, but also looking at where the city's infrastructure investments going in the future and matching that. If you look at the West LA community plan, for example, there's 6 new stations going in that community plan area alone. So that's an area that begs the question, should we just go ahead and update the entire community plan since we have so much activity around transit? Also areas in your council district, like the Arts District, are there opportunities there that we can position ourselves better when the market turns around to make sure that we have the right incentives in place to allow for the appropriate development in that area? So different hotbeds, we're trying to focus the development pressures where those are going to be going, so we can also incorporate neighborhood protections, but also position ourselves so that we have the right zoning in place for when the banks and the lending institutions actually start to fund projects again.
So if this were to pass in March, I mean, do you have like 10 of them to do? Do you have 2 of them to do? Do you have 5 of them to do?
We'd have 31 if it passed in March to do.
31.
At about approximately $2 million a piece.
Much a piece?
Approximately $2 million a piece.
It's a lot of money. Wouldn't you rather just say, give us the $2 million and we'll figure out how we prioritize the planning department?
That's one way to look at it. I mean, the thing I think that's good about this discussion is really getting people excited about planning and how planning can actually improve the quality of life and also preserve and improve property values. And so, I commend the movers of the motion, Councilman Garcetti and Reyes and Councilman Krikorian, that I really am excited to engage the public in how do we plan for their neighborhoods. The key is how do we do it in a sustainable fashion, in a green fashion, and with community involvement. And age isn't necessarily determining.
I think we all agree that our community plans need to be updated. And in fact, I was pushing for a few of them in my district to be updated. The Arts District, the Bowl Heights, and they hadn't been updated in a long time. Some very old data. But at the same time, we're faced with some very difficult financial times, and we left it up to the planning department, and the planning department has decided, well, let's put this off for a while because we got some more urgent matters to take care of right now. We got all these applications for entitlements we have to process. We have all these other matters before us. I'm just concerned that we're going to be tying your hands to say this is the priority of the department, but it's a charter mandate to a tune of $2 million a year, and you could be doing anywhere from 1 to 30 that you have to do, and so it's going to be a huge financial commitment through the charter that the planning department will make. I don't know, do other cities do it like this, or has any other charter city done it through their charter to say you have to do your planning, update your planning, community plans every year?
We were just forwarded this motion in the last few days and haven't had a chance to do that research. Just from some cursory research, we've not found another charter city that has a requirement. And again, under state law, there is not a specific requirement of number of years in which community plan is considered out of date.
And I don't think the planning department's going to have any other financial commitment they have to live up to. I mean, you have a number of things the planning department is responsible for, but you're always going to say each and every year, you know what, because of the charter, we have to do and update our community plans, or whichever ones haven't been done in the last 10 years, which is fine. I just want to be clear that that is the priority, and we are going to do that. I just don't feel like it is, because through these budget processes these last few years, the planning department has told us, let's put that on hold right now. We got these more urgent matters to do.
Yes, a good point, Councilman. We are fee-based, the department, so only 25% of our department actually is covered by the general fund, and that's what covers our advanced planning and policy program. So when you look at our enterprise fund, through application fees, whether someone's doing a kitchen addition or it's a large development project like the W Hotel, those fees for service have to be used for those services. So the planners working on those entitlement applications are dedicated to that service. So we don't have the availability of staff, except for a small portion of our planners, to work on all the general plan updates, the housing element updates. So that's where we'd have to look at a funding stream through the city council, either through some other types of initiative to put that money into the department to help us accomplish that goal.
Got it. So now I'm beginning to think that it's not so much an internal cost benefit you're going to do, but it's going to be a general fund cost benefit that now we're going to dedicate this from, actually the planning department's budget's going to increase now.
Correct.
Okay. Well, if it was up to me, and it is up to me today because I'm the sole person in this committee, I'd say this thing is not cooked. But I'll leave it up to Garcetti and Reyes' office to advise. You guys wanted to go full council and maybe get some of this information there and see what the rest of the council feels. That's fine with me. Can somebody come up to the microphone and let us know? Nobody comes up, I'll just keep it here.
I believe that the motion will be in Rules Committee next week, Councilman.
Pardon me?
The motion will be in Rules Committee next week. Or tomorrow, actually.
Well, I need somebody from either Garcetti's office or Reyes' office to confirm that they're fine moving this forward. Otherwise, I'm going to keep it here in this committee to get those questions answered.
And the other issue is that there's a deadline issue.
That's what I mean. You'll die if it doesn't move from here.
Catherine Hennigan on behalf of Council President Garcetti's office. We agree with you. We're still doing some fact-finding and working with the planning department to work out the funding issues, the possibility of maybe including like a sunset clause so it's not effective immediately. There's a period of time, maybe have it go into effect in 2012. But we are getting more information this afternoon, and we would like you to move it forward today.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'll move this forward as committee as one without a recommendation, but it's going to rules?
Yes. So you'll adopt the motion?
Adopt the motion and move it to rules. And somebody's lifting their hand there. You have a public comment? Do you have a public comment? Yes, you do. Here's a question. There's two. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We are number 2, correct? Yeah, number 2.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, there he goes. The previous speaker in CD15, the card was in the wrong thing, so that's... Jim McQuiston.
Jim McQuiston. We used to talk about the fact that the 5-year limit was a mandate on the renewal of the plannings, but we've gone a considerable number of years over that in Hollywood, and we're still there. Now, when we got up the Hollywood plan back, I remember the Hollywood plan was the only one that the planning department did not do. Gruen Associates did that, and they did parcel by parcel, which is something that we don't in the city have time for, but they did it, and I went around with them parcel by parcel. I didn't agree with everything, but at least it's held up for quite a while. So it doesn't seem to me that we really need this in the charter. What we really need is to work on something else that the planning really sorely needs, and that is the state has mandated certain findings that have to be done, and if we stick to those findings, the planning department's work on a lot of things is going to be reduced so they have more time to do this planning, and also we'll get more building done. So everybody wins if we just look at those findings a little closer and switch our allegiance, you might say. It's already in the charter. All we got to do is follow the charter, and we'll get a lot of extra funding for the planning department without any charter change.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll move that item to rules.
Okay. And just to be clear, Councilman, on item 4 was continued 1 week, right?
Okay, item 4 was continued 1 week.
Okay. So what would be next is public comment.
Excuse me, Councilman, I believe you have a card for item number 9.
Item number 9, we have card Phyllis Doherty. What's item number 9?
Item number 1, was it?
9.
9 is the Director of Planning's report.
Okay. There's no report today. Yeah.
I was going to wait for his
I
report.
decided to get we have a full committee, not just Weezer.
Phyllis Doherty. Actually, I have one in for general public comment. Maybe I can just kind of run them together then, if it's sort of on the same thing. I'm very concerned that the Department of Animal Services Commission, with no discussion, no question, no proponents in the room, which means that the hundreds of people that have been clamoring for this already had the word that they didn't need to be there. And we've been doing this a while. They changed, this is the motion, to direct the city attorney to prepare amendments amending the municipal code so that the definitions of cat kennel is defined as 6 or more.
Excuse me, city attorney here. Does this have anything to do with, this is the land use management committee?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I'm sorry,
No, this is changing the municipal code. This is for the planning, for the building section on cat kennels and dog kennels. So this affects, it's directed then to go to the planning, request that the planning committee identify other LAMC amendments necessary to bring this about. So yes, it's definitely about planning to change that part of municipal code. And you have not been consulted on that. There's also a CEQA that is required by, there's already in there. And I'm very, very concerned that this is being done as if it's an animal issue rather than a planning issue, because this is going to affect the quality of life, the protection of people all over the city. When you have 5 dogs per property, you cannot control them. And the reason that this 3-dog limit has been in place is for the protection of people and for the quality of life, so that when people buy a piece of property, they can enjoy, a quiet, decent life, and also sanitation. They don't have sanitation and health issues of a dog kennel next door. So what we'll be doing now is creating what has been a dog kennel forever in any number of backyards. I know if it's 6 or more, we'll still have the 500, increase. So do you want me to just stay for a few minutes just to finish? They're being a little bit misleading, more than a little bit misleading on this, also saying San Diego has it and it's worked out fine for them. That's not true. There's San Diego County. In order to have the density that we have in Los Angeles, or the number of residents, they use San Diego County. When you use San Diego County, your density is only 217 people per square mile. For Los Angeles to have that same number of residents, the 3.9 million, we have a density of 5,600 people per square mile. So we're talking about 5,600 people in every square mile being able to have 10 animals per property. And I really am very, very concerned that, as I said, that the planning department has not been asked for any input on this, and it's sort of, now Mrs. Barnett issued that she wants foster animals to be kept in basements and garages. This was the news release that went out, no limits. So they've also put in here that any foster animals there would not be included in that, which I am assuming would mean would be unlimited. So if you want 10 legal animals and unlimited foster animals in garages and basements, that's exactly what this, and I gave it to Mr. Legrand, that's exactly what was passed by Animal Services. So I wish you'd please really, really pay attention to this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we'll pass that on to our code studies section to take a look at.
Okay. Thank you.
Public comment?
That was public comment?
Okay.
That
Then that's
is the
it.
end of our meeting. Motion to adjourn. So moved. Ordered. Thank you.